After days of freezing temperatures, an animal shelter in Avoyelles Parish is stepping in to help dogs left out in the cold. The shelter is working to keep the animals safe and warm while also encouraging the community to help give them a permanent place to call home. Atchafalaya River Rescue has taken in several dogs following the recent freeze, giving them warmth, food, and medical care. Rescue workers say cold weather can be dangerous for animals left outside, especially those without proper shelter. Many of the dogs arrived scared, cold, and in need of medical attention. Staff and volunteers are working hard to make sure each dog is safe, comfortable, and cared for. The rescue says bringing animals indoors during freezing temperatures can save lives. Rescue workers and boarding facility owners in Avoyelles Parish say their biggest concern is the lack of an animal shelter in the parish. They believe having a local shelter would help protect animals during extreme weather and emergency situations.
The strain it puts on all of us, like at one time we can have 30 dogs at our homes. We don't have an actual shelter, Atchafalaya River Rescue. We're a rescue. We depend on foster homes, and when we don't have them, we take them in. Like I can have 10 dogs, Bridget can have 20, this one can have 5 dogs. That is a lot of animals when you work full-time as well.
While the rescue is doing everything it can, workers say finding loving homes for the dogs is just as important. They hope families will consider adopting or fostering, giving the animals a safe space where they can stay warm and be well taken care of. Shelter officials remind pet owners that during extreme cold, animals should be kept indoors or provided with proper shelter. They say every dog deserves a warm, safe place to call home, especially during harsh winter weather.